Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Power BI DAX. That is basics and formula. What is Power BI DAX and everything. I'll show you the agenda. Before we get into the topic, I'm Dr. Gomati. I'm your trainer for the day, and I'm a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and Microsoft Learn Expert. I have nearly 13 plus years of experience in training and teaching. So let us understand the today's agenda. We will first start with what is DAX. We will understand what is the purpose of the DAX, what is the role in that, and how it works in Excel and probably in SSAS. And then we will get to know about how the DAX functions, what is the basic feature, and what are the components of a DAX functions. Okay, and then moving forward, we'll be learning about what are the data types in DAX, and we will compare calculated column and the measures, basic DAX functions, like how what are the basic DAX functions we have, and the filter functions we have. So DAX is what a data analysis expression, which is a powerful formula language used for data modeling. This is actually developed by Microsoft, which is in Power BI. So DAX is designed to work with relational data and perform dynamic calculations. So if you want to perform any dynamic calculation, then you have to go with the DAX expression. So DAX is extensively used in Power BI for creating custom calculations and aggregations within the reports and the dashboards. In SSAS, DAX is used to create sophisticated analytical models, and in Excel, DAX enhances Excel's data analysis capabilities, particularly in Power Pivot, enabling advanced data manipulation and analysis. So, we will be understanding how to write the DAX function and everything. If you have any experience in Excel, so you might have come across like how to use the basic functions, right? So there we'll be writing a function in the formula bar. Here we will call it as a DAX expression. There won't be much difference in that. Okay, so what is the exact role of a DAX function? So DAX allows you to create dynamic aggregation that change based on the user interaction and the filter context. For example, if you take a sum of sales for a specific region or time period, that updates as users apply different filters. And it is the role, another important role of a DAX is calculation. It is used for a wide range of calculations from basic arithmetic to a complex statistical operation. For example, if you want to calculate year to date sales, percentage growth, or a moving averages, so you can definitely go ahead with what DAX function. So understanding DAX, like we will let us first understand the basic structure of a DAX, what the DAX involves, like how the DAX is actually created. Okay, so DAX involves basically the DAX function has three important components. One is operator, that is first one is a function. We will start with the function and then operator in it and then values in it. So these are used to perform calculations on data in your data model. Let us see everything one by one. Okay, so basically, like our DAX function, let me just show you with an example so that it will be easy for you to understand. Here I have loaded the data here. This is a financial data. Okay, so you have these data, but you wanted to create some another measure, a new measure, you will be going with the DAX function. Let me show you with a basic DAX function. If you wanted to create a DAX function, then you have to go to this new measures. Can you see here? This is the new measure which is available in your Power BI main home tab itself. So this is actually the home tab. So here you can see the home tab. Okay, so this is a home tab. So in this home tab itself, you can see this DAX function. Okay, new measure. So here you have to click on this new measure, and once if you click this new measure, your DAX, your actually to enter your function will open. So where you have to enter the DAX function, I'll be showing you. So here you can see this is the one. Okay, this is the function where you should start writing the DAX formula. So where you have to start with some function, you have to give the name of the DAX, like what you want to do actually create. Okay, let us first go with the sales amount. Okay, I'm just going to start with the sales amount. um sales amount, and then I'm just pressing equal to. Okay, now let me start with sum. Okay, this is actually the function. As I told, DAX has its own function. You have to give the operator, and then you can use the values. Okay, sum, and then inside the sum you can give what you want to do, like sum of sales. Okay, so let me just 1 minute. So what you have to do is, what you have to close this. Okay, so here, if you just see this DAX function, okay, let us just first understand what these DAX functions is talking about. This is a sum. Okay, this is actually the function which is the first important component of a DAX. Okay, and then here inside that you have the column name. Okay, this is another important, this is actually you're calculating something in the value. You can also do like, okay, so you can also have something called operator. Okay, so what is this operators, like how we'll be utilizing these operator, like you can have operators like additional operator, plus, minus, we'll be looking into it. Okay, divided by symbol, asterisk symbol, if you want to use this, you can use equal to, greater than, that is a relational operator, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, anything. Okay, and then you can go ahead with the ampersand symbol. So this is a logical operator, like and not, this is a piping character. So you can just go ahead with what you can easily use this DAX function here. So sales amount, instead of going like this, you can just give sales. Okay, sales, so financial, you can just start with some of sales. Okay, and you can use asterisk 0.1. So what does it mean? This is like you are just trying to multiply the sales amount. Okay, sum of sales, it don't come because sum, it has only the one arguments to pass with. Okay, so like this you can easily use these values and the functions. Okay, parameters. Okay, you can utilize these things. Okay, then values, like you can actually use the values like boolean values, true or false. Okay, true false value, you can also tell like today, any values, you can just use it. So the values are like a constant or a column reference used in the DAX references. Okay, so sum of sales amount, which we did, right? So that is what which actually adds up all the values in the amount. Okay, so basic calculations you can also use as well. Okay, um, so you can also use the basic calculations here, that is also possible. So that is how you can create the DAX function. So it is easy to understand the DAX functions because it basically we might have used it in almost all in the Excel or something, but we will be learning that as well. Okay, so let us go ahead with the data types. So what are the data types in DAX? So DAX support various data types, each suited for different kinds of data and operations. Understanding these types of data, which is essential for writing accurate DAX expression. So starting with numeric function. So we all know like what is numeric, which represents the numbers, including the integers and the decimal. So if you wanted to calculate something related to the age, or if you want to calculate something related to the numbers like sales, discounts, or something, you'll be using a numeric calculator. So for numeric, we will be using these functions like sum, average, okay, average, that's completely, it's an average function. I'm just writing it for the short form, and max. Okay, we will be using these functions to calculate the numeric value. Okay, and next to talk about is what the text. Text is what like represents the string values. Okay, so strings like text, to manipulate your name, if you want to do something with your name or with the country or the region or something, you will be using it. Like if you want to concatenate, if you want to search anything, so here we'll be using the function called concatenate. Okay, concatenate function, which is used for the text function, left, length. So there are a lot of functions which we have. And then to talk about is what the date and string, like if you want to represent any date, so used for specifically for the date calculations, okay, like aggregation by period, time intelligent functions like today, year to date, YTD, okay, date add. So where we will be using a datetime function. And finally, to talk about the boolean, which represents the logical values, like either like a true or false. If you wanted to go ahead with the, if it is a true, then what you wanted to do, if it is false, then what you wanted to do. So if you want to go with a logical function, then logical calculations, then you will be using this, like if condition. For logical, we'll I'm for boolean, what is the purpose of the boolean is for to store the true or false, okay. And in order to use this boolean function, we'll be using logical operators like um, if, and, or, okay, we have all these things, okay. So I hope you're following. If you have any doubts, please just stop me right there and ask me so that I can help you out immediately. Don't carry forward your doubts to the next, like to until the next session, like until the last, okay. You can just send me those. So the next one is, let us understand the calculated column versus the measure. So what is actually the calculated column and what is measure? Okay, so in DAX, both calculated column and measure are used to create new data from existing data. We'll be creating a new data with an existing data, but it has its own different purpose. First, let me show you what is that calculated column and the measure, and then we will come back here. So see here, here if you wanted to add a separate column in your data, you'll be going with a calculated column, okay. And if you want it, if you do, that will be reflected in your table itself, okay, which will be there in your table itself. Where if you wanted to go ahead, for example, see, here I have okay, segment country product, right, okay. Let me just try to show you with the one example. Let me just simply, I will concatenate both the segment and the country, okay. It's not actually the correct one, but anyhow, I'll just go ahead and do with the segment and the country, okay, just to show you like how these things works. So here, if you want to create a calculated column, you have to go to this new column, okay. So here you can see this is a new column. So if you just click on this new column, you can create a calculated column, okay. So I'll just show you the difference, what does this calculated column will do, okay. um okay, so here I'm just making it like segment country, okay, is equal to, I'm just going to create financials of country, okay, financials of country, and ampersand, it's an operator which is used to connect two or three thing. And then an ampersand operator, I'm just, see, double ampersand means it's a logical and single ampersand means which is used to connect, okay, like it's like a concatenating two or three thing. And financial of um, segment, okay, I just wanted to show you like how these things work, okay. And if I'm just pressing the enter, so what happens here, you can find it here, like you can see a new column is creating, okay. We are creating a new column by concatenating two values, okay, two columns. What happens here is, what if you just go to your model and see, your new column will be added here, okay. Sec count, you can see here, right, your new column is added here. So now what happened? What is happening here? This is what we have created, a calculated column. Now, if I create some measure, okay, so here we have created a measure, right? Sales amount, sum of sales and financials. So what happened? Let us just try to go and see whether the sales amount is there in our data. So you cannot find the sales amount in our data, and as well as you cannot find the sales amount in our that is only in your financials, okay, that is in the table you can find it, but that won't be available here for each and everything. Why? Because that is what the basic difference between the calculated columns and the measure. So for calculated column, you'll be creating a new column itself, okay, which is added to the table using a DAX expression. But this measure will be used only in the reports and visual, And another important thing is calculated column or static. It's just calculated once and it will be stored in the table. Okay, once if you have calculated, which will be stored in the table, and values do not change unless the data is refreshed or in that DAX expressions is modified. But the measures can be dynamic. Okay, if you take measures calculated, you can calculate it on the file, on the fly, whenever used in a report or visualization. So values change based on the context, like filters or slicers, you can change it. And here you can see this is row by row calculation. So you can find that once we have created a calculated column, it is create this is created for every row, right? So each row individually, whereas that is not in the measure, it is the context dependent. Okay, and if you see calculated columns hold some space in your table itself, it is creating as a new column, so it will increase the storage size of the data model, whereas measures will not located in your table, it will not create a new column, so that is why it won't impact in your storage. And the calculated columns are permanent, until you delete it will hold there, whereas the measures are dynamic calculations, like you can aggregate, you can create an aggregate functions, there is no storage impact in that. Okay, so these are all the difference between the calculated column and the measure. So you can just understand based on the definition, like how the calculations happen, the context of the calculations, storage impact, use cases like permanent data, okay, everything. So these are all the important difference between the calculated columns and the measure. Let us go ahead with the basic DAX function. So we have these four basic DAX functions, like arithmetic, date and time function, logical function, and the text functions. Okay, so if you take like arithmetic means like total sales, you can just go ahead with the sales amount and the sales tax. You can simply use plus, minus, and asterisks. This is what the basic arithmetic operators like, so you can just go ahead with us with that. And if you take a date and time function, like you can perform today's date, like if you want to go ahead with the date and time, for example year to date calculation, if you want to go with an year to month, month to month calculation, everything. Okay, so these are the time. If you want to do some calculations for the month and dates, then you can go ahead with the date time function. Logical functions basically works with what the something, if you want to apply some logical calculations over it, you will be using a logical functions. For example, if you want to apply, like if the sum of sales are greater than 100 or 200, it means that it should be a high sales or else it's a low sales. Okay, you can go ahead with a logical function. And finally it's a text function, which means that you have to do it like what we saw, right? Like we have concatenated two thing, even that is a text function, that is a text calculation. We have simply used ampersand. Instead of using ampersand, you can go ahead with the concatenate. Okay, so let me show you some quick example, like one or two examples. Let us open this. Okay, so here we have this thing, right? Like a seg something. So here you can use the concatenate function. Okay, concatenate, and you can just use the financials, and you can use simply. So this is anyhow, you need what you need, the countries, right? And then you can, instead of using these things, you can simply use comma, and then you can go like simply comma, you can use it. And financial, so if you want to give some space, you have to go ahead with double quotes and then comma. Okay, and then last name or segment or whatever, and then close it with the bracket. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, so either way you can just go ahead. Let me just. Okay, here we are concatenating these two things. Let me just sorry, I have added 1 minute, it's working. 1 minute, I'm just. Okay, I like instead of pressing enter, I have added one more slash. So if like this is what DAX, like it will directly show you where is the error is, like what actually the error is and how you have to clear that error. So this is easily possible with the help of a DAX function. Okay, so this is how you can utilize the DAX function here. So you can simply use what you just wanted to do. Okay, SCG count. So you just wanted to concatenate. So what things you have to like what two values you have to concatenate, you can tell that. Okay, and then how you have to concatenate. So all these things you can just simply tell where your concatenation function will work. Okay, so this is how you can use the concatenation function. So next we will just look into like how to use the if. Okay, so beyond this we have lot of date function, text function like right, left, mid, length, trim, upper, lower. So we'll be discussing, we'll be using that whenever we wanted to utilize that length, the trim and everything. So I wanted to just show you some quick example of using the today function. Okay, so let us just create a new column here. Okay, again I'm creating a new column. So I wanted to just bring in um year, only year from this date. Okay, I have this date function, right? So I have this date column. From this date column I want to just bring in only one function, sorry, only one attribute, which is an year. Okay, so our date consists of month, year and everything. So I want to bring only one thing. I'm just going to go ahead with a new table. Sorry, new column, 1 minute. Okay, so I'm just clicking the new column where you can simply type. Okay, I want to extract only the year from the date. Okay, from this date. So what I'm going to do is what year is equal to. So I just want to bring in the year. So year is a function, and you have to mention what is the date. Okay, so which date it is. So in financial, I want to bring in the date. Okay, so here you might have noticed something. Okay, so now I'm just deleting it. I want to show you one thing. Once if I press open, like here you can see that it is showing year of date. What is this? This is actually the argument which you wanted to pass. Okay, here it is showing like year, and inside you wanted to pass only the date, which means that you want to pass only the column which has date. Okay, date data type. If you're trying to pass something else, it will throw you an error. Okay, so let me just show you the error what it is trying to show you. So I'm just trying to take country. Okay, and I'm just closing this. Okay, what happens, it was, no, it cannot see the name year is already okay. Let me just use with year 1. Okay, and I'm just trying to enter this. Actually what should happen, it should not give me any it should show me error, right? So here you can see it is showing me error. What is the error is all about is what, because it is actually expecting the date type. And also you can see what is the error, cannot convert value Germany of type text to the data type. So what does this mean? It is expecting a date argument, but you're passing the string argument. That is the error here. Let me just make it perfect. So just pass the date and then press enter. The error will go off and you will get the year. Okay, so this is how you can use the year function. So likewise we can apply all these things, like what is the if condition, if and everything. And finally we have filter. In filter we have calculate. Okay, we have all expect and selected, filter, remove filters. So this calculate is basically used widely. Okay, this is to change the context in which the data is evaluated. You can use this to modify the filter context of an expression. So calculate function evaluates an expression in a modified context specified by one or more filters. Okay, so I'll show you calculate, how to use the calculate. Let us first understand what is all and all expect, all selected, which means that if you wanted to use this all or like all function, okay, it will remove all the filters from the specified columns of the table. It will print everything, okay. And likewise, like all expect, okay, so this will remove all filters expect those on a specified column. And all selected, this will remove the filters that are applied to the report but keep filters from the visual as well. The filter function is used to apply for the most complex filters, okay, most complex filters this will be used. And finally, like a remove filter, the remove filter is used to remove all your filters in the specific columns or the tables, okay. I'll just show you the calculate functions, like how these calculate functions or calculate function is used, okay. So the let us create a calculate function. um Let me just create a calculation function for you, calculate function for you. I'll create that in the measure. So I'm just clicking on the new measure here. Okay, so what is the thing which we are going to do is what? If you want to calculate the total sales amount, okay, specifically in USA, what is this total sales amount in a USA? Then I can use this. Okay, this is like applying a filters as well as the thing. So I can go ahead with the total sales in USA. Okay, this is the name of the measure. So I can start with the calculate function. So calculate, what I want to calculate is what? Sum of the sales. Okay, sum of the sales. And then you can just go with the comma. And what you wanted to do is what? I wanted to go with the sales country, like I want to filter. Okay, I want to filter, okay, sales. And I want to filter the financial of sales country. Sales country. Country, okay, country is equal to USA. Okay, so I want to just calculate only the sales specifically for USA region. So I'm creating this measure. So what happens here? First, it will find the sum of the sales, okay, and it will apply these things only, and it will filter first. Sorry, it will first fetch the filters like USA, and then it will find the sum of sales and it will print you the result. Okay, so what happens here? Let me just go ahead with um, country, sorry, product, okay, and sales amount, total sales in USA. You can see only the total sales value in the USA. Okay, so this is the total value in USA. I'm just showing that in the card. Okay, it's like United States of America. So you have to give exactly, okay, United States of America, or let us go with Germany or of America. You can recorrect that. Okay, just click on the total sales of USA here, and instead of USA, just go ahead and type like United States of America. Okay, just apply that. So you can find that changes immediately in your report as well. Okay, so this is what the States of America's total sales. Got it? So yes, we are in the session revision. So today completely we have discussed about introduction to the basic DAX functions. Okay, so what is DAX? How it is exactly used? And what are the types of functions we have in the DAX? And how you can create a column using a DAX function? And finally, we have concluded, we have checked, we have discussed with some few demos as well. And moving forward, we'll be learning about few filter functions specifically with a case study, like where to use that and how to use that and everything. Thank you, take care. I'll meet you soon in the next session.